Hello everyone, I'm Tallie, this is Farrell and we are Bored of It and we are your hosts of the Bored of It Board Game Awards 2024. Welcome to the ceremony.
Thank you for joining us. Please subscribe. And this is, you could say, we're bringing back an old Board of It classic from the old days. We used to do this series where we did monthly awards and we just gave like silly titles to games we've been playing and gave them that award.
Yeah. Just an excuse to talk about some of the games, really.
Yeah, exactly. Although I think one of the funniest things was we gave it to Polus and it was called like the Oh Boy, So Much Wheat Award or something like that. I think the designer saw it and then was like, great, I'm so proud to win this award, which is quite funny. So this is not our top 10 of 2024. That's another video. This is just talking about some games that really shaped our year. Maybe we'll talk about the ones that we hated, maybe the ones that our families loved. And we're just going to give them awards with silly titles, basically, and just discuss some things that wouldn't be on our top 10, but we wanted to highlight for whatever reason.
Yeah.
So let's get into the awards.
Okay, so our first award is the Best Board Game for Doing Chores Award. Please announce our winner, host Farrell.
That goes to not just one game, but three, the Imperium series. I don't know where I'm clapping. So the Imperium series is from Osprey Games, and worth mentioning, we were provided all of these as review copy. And this is a deck building like civilization game where you take on a civilization, you deck build, and there's a lot of asymmetry between the different civilizations. It's a lot of fun. But this game, so we mentioned it first because it did shape like the first quarter of our year, because we got sent these for review, we did a buyer's guide, and we spent a lot of time playing them play the different like 3 games in the series. We really enjoyed it, but it is probably the most solo game we've ever played that is a multiplayer game.
Yep.
Your turns are very long, they're very intricate, a number of minutes, if not more than that. And what ended up happening is that we would play it, and then when someone was taking their turn, the other person would get up and start doing chores around the house, because there's not really so much you can do before, I don't know, you maybe see what they've done with the marketplace and stuff like that. And it just became like this recurring thing that someone would start doing the washing up or like their laundry and then we'd swap over, and it was just a funny little experience, but we did really enjoy the game.
Yeah, no, exactly. They're just like you said, there's nothing much you can do whilst the other player is taking their turn. You have no idea what's going on in their civilization, nor do you really care so much either. Like, you don't need to know that. Occupy your mind space with what you're doing in your civilization. So it's not even like you're not even paying attention. There's nothing to pay attention to. So I would be like on my phone, like booking some flights or whatever I needed to do, or off in the house, like you said. So, but no shade to it. We love it.
Yeah.
It's just funny that that's what's ended up happening.
Exactly. So our first award, the best game to do chores.
Woo.
The next award is the game Tallie's mum will not shut up about. And that goes to...
The winner is So Clover. Hi, Mummy.
So this was a game, and I think I actually crept into your number 10 last year when we first experienced it.
Yes.
It's become an absolute favorite of your mother. And every time we see her, she goes, did you bring So Clover? Or if she's here, get So Clover out. But she does like to alternate between that and Uno, so she likes to spice it up.
Yeah, I think Just One could also be thrown in the mix now as well. Very similar in a way, but yeah.
But literally, So Clover is now in our top 10 most played games of all time. It's probably going to be in our top 10 most played games of this year. And that is all down to Tallie's mother.
Yeah, can't deny that. I mean, we it's a game that you only play basically with family, or at least we do. I don't even think we've ever played it with any friends.
No.
Mostly
only family you're right, actually.
with my mum, but yeah, we have got a fair few plays in with your family as well, but it is a particular favourite of my mum's, yeah.
Yeah, so it's just a nice little word game, like just one, code names, that you're working together cooperatively, and it's a lot of fun, people discussing. I always have to like put my head in my shirt when people are guessing my clover, because the suggestions they say, like, it makes me giggle. Yeah, so I can't give anything away.
Talk with the teammates. Maybe that person means this. By that word, they wanted us to put these two together. And if it's completely wrong, you can't contain yourself. And as the clue giver, you're not supposed to have any expression. So you have to go into your little jumper so that we can't see you.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think I've said it before and I'll say it again about So Clover. I think it also taps into a little bit, because we're not big co-op people, a little bit different when you're playing with the family, but there is an element of savagery there as well, where a competition, you want to be the best one to give the best clues also. So for us, it's not this like side where it's almost too nicey nice.
Yeah.
Because you're like, oh, you got my clues straight away.
Yeah, exactly. So if you're looking for a gift for your mother or a family member, obviously, according to Tallie's mum, this is the one to get.
Okay, so our next category is biggest surprise of the year, and that goes to
Dead Cells, the board game. And this is a game that I think we both fell in love with. So Tallie knew nothing about anything about Dead Cells or roguelites or anything of that nature. I'm a massive fan of the video game, and this game just blew us away. We don't tend to like co-ops that much. You didn't know anything about it. It could have gone so wrong being a board game adaptation of a video game, but it was absolutely incredible.
Yeah,
it blew us away. We had so much fun. It completely nails the addictive nature of the video game, of getting constant upgrades, of getting better and better and better. It keeps drawing you in for more runs. It kind of replicates everything really well from the video game, and I think we're both just blown away.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't played that kind of game in probably at least 20 years, but, you know, I did used to play Donkey Kong or whatever, right, when you're going through the levels, and it really did give that feeling so well of being a video game. Like, it just, the implementation of it was so good. But I think for me, at least, why it was a big surprise is we're not co-op people. If you've seen our recent video of our top 10 games from this year, I actually put Dead Cells as my number 4, sorry. And if you'd have told me I would put a co-op game anywhere near that high at the beginning of the year, I would have said, don't be silly. So that's why it's a big surprise for me as well, especially because, like you say, I knew nothing about it. So for me, that's purely on the game itself, with no preconception of, you know, what the universe is or what the game is. But it's just, really great game, very addictive, fun to play, and really works to minimise, or really the mechanisms work to minimise the quarterbacking. So really enjoyed it.
Yeah, so I mean, a terrific surprise. Never expected it. Dead Cells, the biggest surprise of the year. And for this very special award, we're joined by the dogs. They are both here, even if maybe you can't see Meg. This is the inaugural Tallie Turnaround Award.
Ooh.
And Tallie is well known for judging a book by its cover.
Not even sorry.
And the most famous example of this was Undaunted, where she nearly groaned when she saw the cover, and now it's like a favorite game of all time. So for this year,
it's fun.
What game wins the inaugural Tallie Turnaround Award? What game did you see the box and groan, but then you really, really enjoyed it?
Death May Die.
Yeah.
Well, exactly like you said. So another Lovecraft game. Oh, bit like same. Not that I dislike those type of games. We very much enjoy Mansions of Madness and all of this, but those sorts of sci-fi themes for me would be very much low on the list of the sort of like theming that I enjoy. And again, we're not so into co-ops. Obviously, those sorts of games are co-ops. So for me, I was like, oh, Cthulhu again.
Yeah.
Another co-op, like whatever. Loved it. Couldn't believe how much I ended up enjoying it.
Yeah. So this should be noted that it's the new one that's fulfilled. So it's Cthulhu Death May Die. I think it's called Fears of the Unknown. So it's like the new standalone game, just fulfilled from Kickstarter. And I think particularly you said you enjoyed the way the scenarios are designed. The fact that they have all these little like unique mechanisms that you have to do to complete it.
Yeah, I think I just found it very more like modern maybe than something like Mansions of Madness, which seems a little bit flat compared to that now maybe. I think a particular highlight is how sort of almost humorous and flavorful the background text is. Like I loved going through the characters in the beginning, of which there is a huge stack.
Yeah.
They all have some fun backstories, and the flavor text which come out on like the item cards and stuff like that is very sort of tongue-in-cheek and very funny. And I think that really elevates it for me actually, because obviously the theme is horror. Without that, maybe it would be a little bit drier for me, but yeah, that for sure elevates it for me, and that makes me want to look through more characters, play as another character, get more items out, etc., etc. So yeah, it almost feels like an upgraded version of those types of games that we've seen before, I think, or more modernized.
Well, I look forward to seeing what you pick for this award next year. Now we have the award that you have all been waiting for, the Get Out of My House award. And this goes to
award.
The games that we disliked or outright hated the most this year.
Wow.
There was only going to be one, but then I remember that Tallie expressed serious hatred for a game I really enjoyed.
2 winners.
So there's going to be 2 winners. Mine is a game called Aqua. I think it was biodiversity in the oceans.
You're so mean on Aqua.
So this was, we got provided that for review. And it's like a tiling game in the vein of Calico or Cascadia. And I just don't know what it is. There's so much about it I really didn't get on with. It should be like a nice, simple little game, but I didn't like the way it fit together. I didn't like the scoring. It really rubbed me up the wrong way. And it's really weird because
it's not that offensive. Like, I don't know why you find it so offensive.
I almost find it badly designed, and the way it's designed really grates on me while I'm playing it. If that makes sense.
I can understand being neutral on it, but to hate something like that is very interesting.
I just did not. It's the only game I remember actively not enjoying playing. If that makes sense this year.
Yeah. Well, mine.
Which was a terrific game that everyone enjoys.
I beg to differ.
Okay, not everyone. You're right. You proved me wrong there.
Mine is Spectral. So this is a kind of hidden information deduction game where you have a group of treasure hunters. There's some cards kind of face down which have some different patterns on them, which indicate to you on what other tiles where the treasure might be. So how it works is you kind of go around and put a treasure hunter down, and you get to peek at that card, and then it would have some information on it, or it could be a cursed tile basically. And then you write in a little notepad, okay, there's a curse here, or it could tell you treasure clockwise around, or 2 spaces like that. And the more information you can get, basically where you place your treasure hunters is how much treasure you'll actually end up collecting at the end of the game. But if your treasure hunters are next to a curse, then they get nothing. So the reason why I dislike it is once you've placed your treasure hunter, it actually can be quite hard to move them. There's no, like, the only way you can move them is if somebody else also wants to go in your space because they want to peek at the same card. Then you get yours back and then you can actually put it somewhere else. But if the other players decide that they don't want to look at that card, or you can look at the card on other edges of it, you won't ever get that piece back. And then there's nothing you can do about standing next to a curse. But that's so unfair because you don't know what's under there. So how can you then do anything about it? So for me, it's just pure luck. I don't see the point in introducing the puzzle if then you can't do anything about it. I get it if then you can try and slyly move your treasure hunters around. You don't want to move them around too much, maybe because then it would alert the other players you might know more than them. But the fact that you just cannot do anything about it is so stupid to me. I don't understand how other people actually really, really enjoy this game. It's stupid.
I loved it.
Yeah, mind blowing.
We literally called it the most divisive game on board of it, I think, in the review.
Yeah.
Well, we ended up getting rid of both of these games, but this one we gave to a friend because I have some hope that I'll get to play it in the future. Alcohol we just got rid of. I really like Spectral. I think I really like the deduction puzzle. I think it's like a nice little puzzly game. You write in your notebook and you deduce. I just really enjoyed it, and I don't have at all the problem with you that you put people out and they're stuck there and it's random, because you got to build up to the clues, right? And you got to deduce. And sure, you're next to a curse. Oh well, then.
What do you mean? Oh well, that's not how you you lose by being next to curses. That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, but you have more people to put out.
Not really. It is limited. It is limited.
It would just have to.
It's maybe
disagree.
4 to 6 pieces. It depends on player count that you can put out. You could put most of them next to a curse by pure chance, not knowing anything about it, and you haven't been able to deduce anything by that point. So it's not like you even haven't deduced the puzzle. You don't know until you look, and you look by placing the people.
I just have to disagree.
Stupid.
See, I told you this was the award you're waiting for. So, 2 games you shouldn't play, according to us. Spectral and Aqua. Although I would say play Spectral.
I say, Aqua's all right.
Yeah, all right. There we go, an indecisive award.
All right, so we're joined by our beautiful co-host to the awards, Megan, for this award. And this award is Most Tables Flipped Award. And the winner is...
It goes to Lords of Vegas Americana Expansion.
Wow.
She looks less than impressed. So this is also, you could say, our Expansion of the Year award, if you want to say that. And
that's a boring title.
Yeah, so it's Most Tables Flipped because literally we played this expansion last night, and one player not only almost punched the table, he also
nearly almost. I think he did punch the table.
He
once or
also
twice.
nearly flipped it over, and we have a heavy gaming table, so it took a lot of energy to even lift it off the floor. So we are big fans of Lords of Vegas, which is a game like an old-style feely game about building casinos. There's a lot of gambling involved, a lot of luck, like playing the odds, and interactivity, which is the best part. You're getting each other's face, you're taking each other's property. There's just so much fun to be had, and it's a Board of It favorite for sure.
Yeah.
So the expansion came out, Americana, and it has 4 new maps. Each map has a gimmick. And we have absolutely loved exploring these maps. I think they take what is great about Lords of Vegas and they just dial it up to make it more zany.
Yeah.
So you have one in New Orleans where it's like riverboat casinos and they change hands all the time and you can move them around to make your casinos bigger, or you can take them away from people. There's an Old West one where you basically play poker as a mini game. And you have duels for any space on the board you want. There's a 2-player or a low player count map specifically. There's ones where it's very tight and you have to sprawl and you get discounts. So there's a lot of fun things and ways it plays around with the core. Brilliant expansion, loved every map. And we had a game, we played it a few times recently, and we had a game literally last night. And basically somebody had built, and this will make more sense if you know the game, like a 12-space casino. And he had shot up the points track, obviously, very far. And then it turns out he had sprawled, and Tallie got 1 die into that casino, and it was a 6, and she took it over. And then
the danger of not getting
and then he
permission.
re-rolled everything, and Tallie still came out on top. And then she ended up getting the points, and then because it was his only casino, he got locked out of it before the game ended. And so he tried to flip the table. And Tallie ended up winning.
Yeah, I mean, that was particularly brutal, but there's a lesson there about not diversifying your portfolio. There's a lot to be learning about that. Now, that was a very fun game of Lords of Vegas, probably the most fun I've had. I mean, I'm sure he didn't have that much fun, because that must have been extremely annoying, but it was so dramatic.
Yeah.
A lot of the dice rolls we were doing, everyone was like, oh, what's going to happen? And just on tenterhooks, basically. So, yeah, really a lot of fun. And I think with the expansions, they almost
do you want to come on here now?
Let you do somehow more in each one. So like the Mississippi one, you have boats, and it allows you to get more money than usual because of the boats. So then that in a way allows it to be even more crazy and like a roller coaster, because everyone has more money, and then you can throw money in, like he did, built a huge casino, but then it can completely crumble, and just, I think makes it a lot more dramatic and twisty turny, which I think for that type of game where it is all about dice chucking is,
I mean, that was it was such a crazy game, because you had the 12-space casino, then you had 2 players who basically got entire lots to them, entire sections
Blocks
to themselves, and they had both had I think 8-space casinos. And early in the game they were flying up, and then they kind of slowed down. I literally only had single spaces, but raised really high.
Yeah.
And, actually it was quite close in the end, besides for you, I think, because you shot up because you had that big property. But it was just crazy, all these different ways and things are happening. I gambled 40, 50 million at one point.
That's true.
And lost it all because I didn't really have many other options. And it was just, I think, we've talked mostly about the riverboat, but I think the Old West one was also so much fun with poker. Would love to play that with more. You get little characters with special powers. Really, really great expansion.
Yeah, totally agree.
Next up, we have the I Deserve More Respect award. And this is going to a game which we enjoyed, but I don't think we gave it the respect it deserves, particularly in our review of it. I think it really grew on us. And now I think it's an all-time classic that is a go-to playing with family. Mm-hmm.
That award goes to Waterfall Park.
And this is a re-implementation of Chinatown, Waterfall Park. And I think, please note, we're giving this for review. But this is something we reviewed. We're like, yeah, it's a good time. We had a lot of fun with it. And then I think we started playing it more with family, and we started having more funny experiences. Yeah. And it's grown, and I think it's an absolutely brilliant negotiation. So it's basically pure negotiation. Everyone gets a bunch of random stuff, and you're trying to make sets, and you negotiate. You want spaces next to each other, you're giving them randomly, you have to negotiate. You want ducks.
Clown factories.
And they want a clown factory, you got to negotiate. And this is, so it's just rounds and rounds of negotiation. And when it's with your family, we've found, just haven't laughed so hard playing anything really.
Yeah, agree. And we've shown this to a few different groups as well, and it's just always gone down so well. I guess maybe it would be dependent on your group. Like you said, we've got more and more appreciative of it because every group we've played with has really leaned into it. And we've got a lot of table talk and banter going. Like, I'm not giving you my hooker duck unless you give me that, you peasant. And, you know, we're like very much leaning into the harsh negotiations. And maybe if your group isn't so into that and everyone would be a bit more reserved, maybe it wouldn't be as fun. But yeah, every group we've had the pleasure of showing this game to has leaned into it very nicely. So yeah, it's just kind of gone up and up in our estimation, I think, to the point where people would, you know, re-request the game that we've played it with before and give it another go.
Yeah, I think it's probably, if I asked my sister, it'd probably be one of her favourite games.
Yeah.
I think it's one of the games that I've showed her and she's really like taken to immediately. And I just think it wasn't either our top 10. I don't think it was an honourable mention. I think going from where I am now, I regret it not being in my top 10. Mm-hmm. I just think, playing with family in particular is something special because it just becomes so funny.
Yeah.
I think like with my family, it's like my sister, she actually like sells stuff kind of at work, right? In some ways. And she has like the whole soft sell thing. She's like very quiet. So then she just like does all these deals and she's always done really well at the game. I don't know if she's won, but she just like soft sells you.
Yeah.
And she says things and she says like so quietly and calmly. And they're like, sounds like a good deal. And they're like, wait a second.
But she's like, oh, don't take it. I'm not that bothered.
Yeah, exactly. And then we play with like your family. And it's just like, it's like you said, it's like, I don't want you a smelly old hooker duck.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
Yeah,
it's just really, I think it's an absolutely brilliant, fun time, something to play with the family, something. Also, it just gets everyone talking at each other, right? It's a very person-facing game.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Deserved more respect and we didn't give it.
We're sorry.
Yep. Our final award of today is the Chillest Game Award. And this is...
Brain Soothie Award.
The Brain Soothie Award, if you like. And this is going to the game this year that was just the most chill experience to play, one that really zenned us out, for lack of a better word, one that we both thoroughly enjoyed playing and just having a little break, like a little escapism, if you want, just kind of zoning out and doing some fun arts and crafts in some way.
And the award goes to Mindspace. So it's a little small box, roll and write, basically, where you're drawing different shapes of different colours onto your player mat, which is a brain. So it is literally brain soothie. Mm-hmm. And the trick is to, put the kind of shapes together, but the two colours of the same can't go next to each other. You get punished at the end for leaving some of your grids or cells empty. And the different colours associate with different points. So, it kind of works by cards come out, which have different shapes on them, and that's what you get to pick from, but you can kind of choose the colour that you would draw that shape in on your brain, depending on what you're going for. So, it's just very relaxing. I think there's just an element of soothing that you're just taking a little pen and doing some colouring within the lines. It's always very nice.
Enjoy the colouring more than I thought I would. It just really surprises me because I don't really like doing drawing or art.
I hate art, direct quote, Farrell.
Yeah. But there's just something really soothing about the way you colour in with the different colours. You're grabbing the pens. You're kind of playing Tetris a lot with the shape of the brain. I just think it has the right balance of kind of things to think about to go for that doesn't make you like really have to crunch. And I don't know, there's just something really soothing about the whole experience for me. Yeah,
it's nice. It's very satisfying when you can like lock the shapes together in the right way that's going to score you some points. And exactly like you say, there's, I don't know, maybe 6 or 7 scoring conditions, something like that. So it's not so overwhelming either. Yeah, you're right. You just work with what you have. It's not like you have to do too much like pre-planning. So I think that adds to the element of just being very relaxing and soothing, and just the type of game that we might play just before bed, end of the night, with a lovely cup of tea.
Yeah. So that was our final award. We really hope you enjoyed this end of year kind of highlight reel, you could say.
Award ceremony.
Yeah, award ceremony, just bringing back the old award ceremony. We just wanted to focus, like we said, on some games that maybe might not be in our top 10. Some might have. Some obviously even further back, like looking at Waterfall Park and stuff.
Yeah.
And bringing that back to talk about. But we hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please consider subscribing. Please ask us any questions you want about the games. Please let us know if you'd like more regular award ceremonies like we used to do.
We should bring it back.
It is good fun. I like coming up with the names.
Yeah.
But with that, we will let you go, and we appreciate you watching. See ya.
Bye.